everybody. Welcome back to The Tipsy Ghost. We're your tipsy hosts, Sarah, and Lindsay.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. You guys know this, but I feel like we need to share this with the podcast family.
Okay.
That I have grown in my my fear.
Yes.
And I got a cat.
Oh, God. Lindsay has a real live cat.
It's a live cat. Why did you make that distinction?
It could be like a
stuffed cat?
Stuffed animal.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's alive. It breathes.
It moves. Has a heartbeat.
And it meows.
It meows a lot.
It meows a lot. It's a very talkative cat.
When you told me, I was shocked.
I didn't tell you. My daughter told you.
Well, that is true. I saw her daughter at Target.
She ruined the surprise.
You've been kind of talking about it for a little bit
Yes.
because we were shocked to hear that you were even considering it.
Yes. My husband and my children wore me down, and this was their birthday gift. And now, funny enough, the cat has claimed me as its favorite person in the house. I did not ask for it.
That's what happens.
It does. You don't choose the cat. The cat chooses you.
The cat definitely chose me. Like, I will be up doing stuff, and it will come up and headbutt me and meow at me like, get in the bed, Mom, because I want to snuggle you.
Do you let it snuggle with you?
I do.
Oh my God.
I showed you the picture of it, like
On
laying
the
in
bed,
my lap.
but I didn't realize
No.
like you were.
It was laying in my lap, like literally in between my legs, laying on me.
Gosh. Oh.
Turns out we are in a different timeline.
See?
My one stipulation, so we went 2 weekends in a row to go look at cats. We went to a shelter the first time, and like they let you pick out the cats and you can pet them, and I was not petting any of them. And finally one of the ladies was like, "Are you sure you really want a cat?" And I just looked at her, and my husband goes, "You have to pet the cats." I was like, fine. Hi, cat.
You do. When you're adopting, you have to like make an effort.
I know. So I did. And so then we went back the second weekend and went to the same shelter, and this cat was there. We named her Millie. She was not there the first weekend, but she was there the second weekend, and she meowed a lot at us and was very friendly. And I told my husband, I said, you have to pick like the friendliest, nicest cat, or I'm going to be terrified of it. And he did. And
Do
she is
you
very
call
nice.
her Millie Vanilli?
I call her Millie Mill.
Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah. I do not call her that. But when she comes up and she meows me, I go, "Hi, Millie Mill." Because my dog's name is Willow.
Adorable.
It's Millie and Willow.
Millie? A Millie?
Millie and Willie.
Willow is Willow Billow. Is what we call her.
Okay.
So Millie Mill and Willow Billow.
That's so interesting. So we've talked about Max before, but I also recently adopted a cat, and we were in PetSmart random. We were not looking for a cat.
There's Max.
You're
Speak of the
speaking
devil.
of me?
Speaking of Max,
Oh, he
Did
brought
you
us
bring
a
it?
mouse.
It sounded like a mouse cry.
thank you, Max.
Thank you.
We just happened to walk by the windows where they keep all the cats in cages, and I never let myself look, but I looked over, and this sweet giant orange cat was just meowing at me. I couldn't hear it, but I could see his mouth opening like he was meowing, and I was like, I have to have that cat.
Oh my gosh.
And so you had to apply, and it was this whole thing, and then like I had to give my vet's information, and my vet had to give me
Like a recommendation?
they had to do
really?
a recommendation.
Oh no.
And whenever we went, so it's embarrassing, but it's not. Whenever we went to go meet Max, because that was another part of the interview process, they're like, you have the best recommendation from your vet we have ever had. And I was like,
That's not embarrassing.
What'd they say?
What is your vet going to say? I see my vet once a year.
You know,
No,
I
have thought about this every day since you told me that, and I was like, what would my vet
Yeah.
say? Like subpar.
I mean, the animal is alive every time I see him, so they must be doing a good job.
Here's what I think it is. So around that time, Brutus was very sick, and we were putting a lot of money and care into helping him be more comfortable near the end of his life. And I feel like they probably look back at my record and they're like, yeah, she cares about pets.
Yeah. Well,
I think
true.
that's what it was. But anyway, so we go in the room and Max is just meowing and meowing and meowing. And that's what it reminded me about you. The little talkers.
Yeah, which is interesting. So I've never owned a cat in my life. I didn't know what I was doing. My husband grew up with cats because his mom always had cats. And he said he's never had a cat that talks.
Me neither.
Oh, really?
And all of his mom's cats, like I've known his mom for how many years now? None of them talk.
Same.
None of them meow. And he
Yes.
says they're always boys. So he wonders if this is like a girl thing.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Max
but
is a
Max is a boy.
Oliver's a
And
boy.
so is Oliver.
He
So
talks constantly. I've never adopted a cat, but I have been chosen by the Cat Distributions Society. And my first one I found in a barn. I had her for
Aw.
19 years and I adored her.
does she talk?
She did, but she has died now. Her name was Marley. She was the best. And then I found a whole litter of cats,
Oh my
kittens.
gosh. Of kittens.
Yeah, I saw 2 coming out of a little bush. And I was like, oh. Well, actually, I tried to drive past them. I'm going to be honest. I was like, nope, I didn't see anything. And Ryan's like, turn this car around.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
You must turn it around. I was like, oh my God, I do not want cats. I already had enough. And but I did, of course, because I'm a sucker. And I turn around and I pull up and I see these 2 little baby kittens that are like dragging their back legs because they're so small. And
Reminds me of the dog from Family Guy.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The grandpa dog dragging his back legs.
that's what they looked like.
Aww.
Their eyes were closed and everything.
They were
like
tiny
they were
kittens.
babies. They were too early. Anyways, the story is that after I was like, oh, okay, there's 2, then 5 more came out of the bush.
Oh no. And you're
And
like,
I was
oh
like,
no, there's
shit.
7. And you're
What
like,
do I
Ryan?
do? I'm like holding these cats everywhere and these people are driving by me and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with these kittens.
Kittens for sale.
Help me.
Who wants a kitten?
Finally somebody pulls over and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know what to do with these cats. I just found them. My daughter made me turn around. And so this lady's like, I mean, I can take 2 of them, but that's it. Anyways, I was able to rehome all of them, but
I was
2.
here to say, did you
That's
take
how
home
we-
5?
I did actually for like a week. And then I had a friend that fostered them for weeks
yes.
until they could go somewhere else. But then I have 2 of them basically. That's Scarlett and Oliver.
Scarlett and Oliver.
They're brother and sister.
Welcome to the cat club, Lindsay.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm part of the cat club. Never thought I'd be here. Ever.
I didn't either. I
You
still
know-
don't believe it.
Once you have them though, they're pretty darn easy.
They really are easy.
She is easy. I had my conditions, and my family is abiding by those conditions. So I said I am never touching that litter box. That is you guys' responsibility. Always.
Yeah, I get that.
You can get the automatic ones.
Yes, that's what we got.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law had an extra one, so we drove to Oklahoma and got it. We were going
That
anyways,
is
but still.
commitment. Oh, I was like, wow.
We were going anyways, but still. Yes, that was one of mine. And the other one was that it must be nice and friendly.
And she is.
And
And she's
she
a
is.
calico. She's a pretty girl.
She is a calico. Apparently, my mother-in-law says that female calicos are rare. I did not know that.
I had a female calico
I
growing
thought
up.
all calicos were female.
That's what I thought too, but I think that is a myth.
How
Okay.
how do they breed?
Well, it's like most orange cats are males.
That part is true.
I did not know any of this. Cats.
Cat facts.
You'll learn. People will just give you information like us. Yes, that is true.
How do they breed then?
Don't ask me that. I don't know.
I mean,
Genetics.
like I said, all my cats are wild cats. So I don't think there was any form of intentional breeding going on.
So now I have a dog and a cat. That is my life.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have
Yes.
2 cats.
2 cats, 2 dogs.
What a
You win.
fun house.
It's so crazy. I can see why I didn't want to bring home
You didn't
7
mean to
cats.
get the 2 cats, and you didn't mean to get one of the dogs.
I know. Why does this keep happening?
Because you're too nice
Please,
of a
for
person.
future reference, I really don't need any more animals. Cannot handle them.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk to you guys about something completely different. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
I like that.
You're welcome.
So it has nothing to do with what I just had for food.
I was going to do that too. We can do that for fun. Here, we'll do that.
It's not
Okay.
cat.
I was waiting.
So, well, because I realized I hadn't shared about Millie yet.
Milli Vanilli.
So, your mood right now, plus the last thing you ate, is the title of your podcast.
Indifferent chili.
It's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
We're just indifferent.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, hold on.
I'm
I'm having trouble deciding how I feel.
I have to
I'm
think
in
about
between
what I ate.
emotions.
Anxious salmon.
Anxious salmon. I was going to say sad salmon. Then I'm like, well, I'm not super sad, but
Anxious Salmon, the Anxious Salmon podcast.
It's better than the indifferent chili podcast.
It sounds like an Alaskan fisher.
the indifferent salmon. We can combine them.
Okay.
What's yours?
This is hard. I ate a burrito bowl.
How are you feeling?
Let's say
The exhausted breedable.
overwhelmed burrito bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wish I had something more fun than burrito bowl.
Just drop the bowl.
It was leftovers, so the overwhelmed leftovers.
Oh.
No.
Overwhelmed burrito it is.
Yes.
It was leftovers from like Tuesday. I had to eat it.
Ew.
I had to eat
Absolutely
it.
not.
No, you don't.
Those are goners at my house.
If it's beyond the next day, I won't do it.
The same
Really?
way. Yes.
Mine was from Tuesday night at work, and I ate it.
At work?
Yeah.
You saved work food?
So I got Chipotle on my way to work
Oh.
Tuesday night, and then
I thought it was like cafeteria food.
is the cafeteria burrito bowl.
Okay.
No, I ate part of it Tuesday night at work for dinner, and then I wasn't hungry later that night to eat the rest. So then I ate the rest like Thursday for lunch, and then today for lunch.
No.
I am horrified. I can hardly eat those damn bowls the next day. That rice
that
is like
have-
crunchy.
Did it have rice in it?
Yes, of course I had rice in it.
Did you not hear about the kid that died after eating reheated rice?
But it was like 5+ days, I will say, because I've Googled it several times. Because I get really nervous about reheating rice.
kills you? What?
It
Yes.
can, because it grows like what? Bacteria? Or
Some special bacteria.
Oh, well, Tuesday night to today, Friday. So 3 days. I'm good.
you might be safe, but that's just disgusting.
My stomach feels great. All right, we're going to talk about a paranormal episode.
Paranormal.
Oh
We
my
did
god, that was so
it.
much better than true crime.
That was beautiful. I enjoyed that very much.
And we actually made contact, which I'm surprised about.
That's a good high five.
I felt
All
like I was
around,
gonna be a
10 out of 10.
Thank you.
We are going to go to February 1958 in Long Island, New York.
Long Island, New York,
Long Island.
1958.
Yes.
where
thank
Ice-T was born.
February. The iced tea.
you. How do you know where all these random people are born?
I know.
The Long Island iced tea.
Oh. I thought you were talking about iced tea.
But I love that so much more.
I was not connecting Long Island iced tea. That makes a lot more sense. I was like, how do you know these facts? It's such a random fact.
First M&M, now iced tea.
I mean, who else? Nelly?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
I know.
I got that one.
I know.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Lindsay.
I do love a good Long Island, though.
You're the light of my life.
Oh, thank you. Because I'm stupid.
No, you're not. I can see how that sounded like that now. In my head, I knew exactly what I was saying.
Very rarely do I go to the rapper and you guys go to the drink.
Yes.
The other way around normally.
Oh, that was funny.
All right.
That was your first sentence. Here we go.
All I said was Long Island.
We took it from there.
In a home on Long Island lives a family. They are the Herman family.
The Hermans.
Got it.
They are a double R, double N.
Ooh,
Hermans.
Hermans?
I think they might. Well, their names don't really sound German, but that sounds like a German last name. Who knows? James and his wife
Okay.
Lucille. That's what I'm saying. They're not real German.
I was looking for the German James.
James.
Yums. Yums.
Yums.
That's not German. That's more like Dutch. I don't know.
All right. So James and his wife Lucille have 2 children. Lucille and James.
No. No.
They do. They call them Lucy and Jimmy, but still, they named their kids after themselves.
Isn't that their own names?
Yes.
I know, but like my name's Lucille, but she goes by Lucy.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. So
My
we got
name's James, and he goes by Jimmy.
James married Lucille, and they had Lucille and James.
Right. Got it.
Lucy and Jimmy are the kids, though, so
Yeah.
that's what we're going to call them by, but I just thought they're real original.
Interesting.
All right, so they're a totally normal family. James works at Air France in New York City.
Debatable.
I wouldn't say normal, but
Lucille is a nurse. They live in a home that was built in 1953. It's a 3-bedroom. It was referred to as a typical 1950s home in a very quiet neighborhood. So on February 3rd, 1958, Lucille is greeting her children as they're coming home from school when they hear...
Hi, Lucy and Jimmy.
That's what she sounded like. It's like you were there.
Here's some cookies and milk.
Some tea.
Iced tea.
You can't have this kind. So she is greeting her children. They're coming home from school when they hear unexplained popping noises coming from around the house.
See, these days I would say, gunshots.
Right. That's what mine went to, but I'm like, it's the 50s.
It's the 50s. It was not gunshots. So they go to investigate the sound of the noise, and they find bottles of household liquids that had suddenly burst their caps, leaving a mess all over the house.
They popped. We weren't far off.
We're going to be popping caps. We're going to be popping bottles.
Oh, yes.
So these are like household liquids, so think like cleaning products. So they found bottles of nail polish remover, peroxide, rubbing alcohol, liquid starch, and bleach. And then lastly, a bottle of holy water that was knocked over on the side and had spilled. Each bottle had been sealed with twist-off metal or plastic caps. So they were not ones that could just... It's not like a champagne.
Or like under pressure.
Yes. They're all twisties. So Lucille, she's a little freaked out, and so are the kids. So she calls James. He's still at work. And she's like, look, there's these popping noises and all these bottles just like exploded at the same time. And he said, well, it's probably just teenagers that are playing a prank on you. I'm not coming home from work. So a few days go by. Everything seems normal. But then bottles start popping again. The children again are coming home from school 2 days later when it starts up again. And that night when James is home, more bottles pop open. So James initially blamed Jimmy because he liked science and he thought that he was rigging these bottles with carbonation capsules and then timing them to all explode at the same time to scare his mom and his sister.
How do you time a capsule?
I don't know.
A time capsule?
Beautiful.
That was great. I love that.
I just think like Mentos. You can't just time it.
Yeah, I don't know. So at that time, it's the weekend. So James is like, look, I'm going to watch Jimmy all weekend long and see if anything strange happens if he's around. And nothing happened until Sunday. So more bottles exploded and James confronts Jimmy about it and he denies it. And while they're talking in the bathroom and a bottle of shampoo moves on its own and falls off the counter spilling.
This is my kind of house.
So James is like, okay, you know what? I saw that. Jimmy was pretty adamant that he's not doing this. So he calls the police department and he speaks to Lieutenant E. Richardson. And Lieutenant Richardson, he thought that James was drunk or playing a prank, but he was like, all right, I'll send someone out to investigate. Partly because he had a good reputation in the community and also because he genuinely appeared to be pretty freaked out. So James Hughes, another James, comes out to the house to investigate. He was interviewing the family in the living room when everyone heard a popping noise that came from the bathroom. Medicine and shampoo had all popped the lids off and spilled on their own. So Hughes goes back to the police station. He passes the case on to his superior, Detective Joseph Tozzi. And he spent weeks investigating this house. On day one, a bottle of perfume tipped over and spilled in Lucy's room on its own. On another day, he was down in the cellar and a 100-pound bronze horse figurine. I don't know why they have this.
I have questions. James and Lucille.
100-pound.
First of all, why?
Bronze horse figurine.
How did you get that down there?
It is excellent questions.
Why do you have it? Where did you get it?
All the
All the questions. So it flew across the room and on its own, and it struck the detective in the legs.
100 pounds?
100 pounds.
Break his leg?
Is he okay?
It did not. And he is okay, yes.
Break your legs.
Well, he's probably not okay now. I mean, he might be.
So he kept notes of everything, but he had no explanation for all this activity. A lot of the activity he did note appeared to be centered around the holy water that was on the bedside. So James and Lucille had a bottle of holy water. And at one point, Mr. Herman had said he even heard the sound of the bottle popping off, and he ran in the room, found it on the floor, and when he went to pick it up, it was very warm to the touch. Weird. So after Detective Tozzi left, James' cousin, Marie Murtha, she was watching TV with Jimmy and Lucy when she saw a porcelain figure lift off the coffee table, move about 2 feet, and drop to the carpet.
That would be freaky.
Was it like one of those Precious Moments figures?
That's like what I would imagine, like one of those like...
From the 50s?
Looks like a milkmaid or something like that.
Yes.
So the Herman family, they are devout Catholics. They're like, look, the police didn't really have an explanation. We're going to the church. So Father William McLeod of the Church of St. William, probably not the same church. I just realized that.
Billiam.
The Church of Me.
That's just a coincidence, right? So he went to the house and he sprinkled holy water in every room of the house, but That didn't help. It continued. So February 10th, news of the poltergeist reaches the media, and it becomes a national news story. And the media nicknames him Popper the Poltergeist.
Oh, I think I had this on my list of things.
Did
now
you?
that I know him, Popper.
Popper.
That makes sense.
Because he's popping bottles.
Popping bottles.
In the club. In the house.
For the Long Island iced tea.
Yes.
Also, iced tea the rapper.
All the above.
Missed opportunity. They called him Ice T the Rapper.
So a reporter from Newsday, David Kahn, he visited the home and witnessed a globe move across the room on its own. And he thought that Jimmy threw it, but he found Jimmy upstairs in his bed. 'Twas not Jimmy. Poor Jimmy. Everyone's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, I'm not doing it.
They're really giving him a lot of credit, though.
I don't think Jimmy could throw a 100-pound bronze
That's what I'm saying.
or statue.
I feel like Jimmy was a troublemaker.
All these like pyrotechnics.
He liked science, okay? All right, so even more unusual, Popper became the first haunting that was shown on TV as camera crews were allowed to come in and film some of the poltergeist activity. Ministers held services on the lawn, even though nobody asked them to. and even more so, letters and phone calls were made to the family suggesting their own personal theories. Again, the family is like, we don't want your theories. But some of the common theories were Martians, aliens.
This is the one time I don't agree.
Satan.
Okay, maybe.
I don't know.
Electromagnetic fields and disruptions in them.
No.
And then there's a couple other that Detective Tazi even researched and tried to debunk himself. So he consulted with experts. He checked with the local Air Force base to see if a plane or a jet had flown overhead, thinking like the sonic booms from a passing jet could have caused the disturbances. But
Sure, in one house.
Just one house in a suburb.
Over and over.
That did not check out. He also called the Radio Corporation of America to see about radio waves. That didn't check out. He had a water company come out and check the well that was in the backyard to see if there's something off with water. That didn't check out. He went to the Long Island Lighting Company to look for underground vibrations. That didn't check out.
Wow, you don't say.
He is trying.
He did put in some effort.
He's refusing to believe that this is ghosts.
Yeah.
So one woman, remember people were sending in their theories, one woman named Helen Connolly, she wrote and said she had also experienced furniture moving about in her living room and found that she had a heavy downdraft from her fireplace.
Helen.
And so James was like, okay, I'll try what you did. And he tried to fix the fireplace. And yeah, no, Popper still was popping.
He's popping off.
They're all trying. Yes, he's popping off. February 20th, things ramp up. A figurine was smashed against the desk. A bottle of ink popped open and spilled ink all over the wall, which I would have been pissed. I've been like, Popper, why are you putting ink on my walls?
You see, this is why I don't think it's Satan. It's just like a troublemaker.
It's like Peeves from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It is.
He's just annoying everybody.
He's annoying. And then a sugar bowl flew off of the table while Detective Tazi was at the home and watched it happen. So the family's like, okay, we're going to go overnight to another family member's house, get a break. Detective Tazi decides to stay, and nothing happens the entire night. But when the family returns the next day, that same sugar bowl again flew off the table, but this time it shattered into a million pieces. So February 24th, there was a loud noise that was heard in Jimmy's room. Nobody was in his room at the time, and when Detective Tazi ran to the room, there was a large bookcase that was face down on the floor.
God, it's kind of scary.
It is kind of scary. 100-pound statues, bookcases.
They did not tether that bookcase to the wall. Like they're
did
supposed
not.
to be doing.
There probably wasn't a lot of child safety stuff then.
It's pre-child safety.
Yes.
Okay.
IKEA didn't care. Jimmy was in his room the next night doing homework when a record player lifted and moved several feet across the room. Also, a small statue of the Virgin Mary flew more than 12 feet and struck a mirror frame in the master bedroom. A heavy glass centerpiece from the dining room table also flew up and struck a cardboard. I said stuck. I think I meant struck. And it chipped away a piece of the molding before it fell to the floor. Things are causing damage at this point. A newspaper photographer named John Gold from the London Evening News. London has come over.
He flew over?
It was like worldwide news, yeah.
Wow.
So he comes over, he's taking pictures of the house, and he said he witnessed his flash bulbs lift off a table and fly through the air to strike a wall.
That would be pretty cool.
In addition, Popper had begun to knock on the walls to get attention, but nobody attempted to communicate with him.
Aw, poor Popper. He's like, somebody please talk to me.
He's like,
I've been throwing all the shit.
I've made my presence known. I am knocking. Hello.
I just have a message. I will go away.
I threw a 100-pound horse statue. What else do I have to do? So Duke University, they have their famous parapsychology lab. So they're like, we're coming in. They have theorized before that people might be able to move things with their minds or emotions, especially those going through puberty.
Oh, yeah. They're always the problem makers.
The puberty kids. You've talked about this before.
Yes,
Special powers.
yes.
So Dr. J. Gaither Pratt and William Roll from Duke University, they come out to the house. And when they arrive, everything calms down. So they suspect that Jimmy was
I was going to say, poor Jimmy.
Oh,
He's really
Jimmy.
getting picked on here.
They're like, he's probably angry with his father, and so he's going through puberty and moving things with his mind. Typical Jimmy.
I'm sure.
It's typical teenage stuff. Okay. So one of the reasons they thought it was Jimmy and not Lucy was because Jimmy was near the majority of the poltergeist disturbances, and in some of the cases, he was also the only witness. So things, like I said, they pretty much stopped once Duke University got out there. On March 2nd, a dish broke after being flung from the cabinets. A table in Jimmy's room fell over, and a bookcase turned end over end in the cellar. And then on March 10th, Pratt and Roll from Duke University, they heard a popping sound, and they found a bleach bottle that had lost its plastic lid in the cellar, and that was the last we ever heard from Popper.
Wow.
So over the course of a month, between February 3rd and March 10th, there were 67 documented disturbances in the home with no proof of what caused it to start and no idea what caused it to end. Popper just stopped.
Jimmy got out of puberty.
He did in a month. It was a rough month of puberty.
Gosh.
Mrs. Herman, so Lucille, she told an Associated Press reporter, quote, "I don't think there is a definite solution. It was just one of those things with no rhyme or reason to it, but there was a definite physical force behind it," end quote. And the Herman family didn't really try to investigate it too much after things ended. They were like, it stopped. We wanted it to stop. We don't want to dig into this and make it happen again. So they just left it alone. And that was that. But somebody in Hollywood heard of this. And that is where the movie The Poltergeist came from.
Ooh.
Oh.
Based off Popper the Poltergeist.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. I just thought Popper the Poltergeist sounded fun. And then I was like, oh, Poltergeist movie.
They changed Jimmy to the little girl with blonde hair.
They did. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't really going through puberty.
No, she was like 6.
There was a portal. There was a lot of, Hollywood took its liberties.
They really did. There was a pool there somewhere going on in that movie.
The TV. Nothing ever happened to the TV that we know of.
I'm going to need to rewatch that one.
It's a good one.
It's been a while.
I love that one. But yes, Popper just wanted to be heard.
And that was all. When he wasn't, he was like, God damn it.
Well, no one would listen to him.
So he moved on.
He did.
He was there a month and he moved on.
Probably went to the Conjuring house is where he went.
He was like, you know what? I'm going to the Warrens. They listen to me.
They do.
He was in Rhode Island. Or no, he was in Long Island. He wasn't far.
That's right. He just traveled down. Popping shit on the way.
67 cases over a month. That's a lot.
Why can't Popper be at any of the places we go investigate?
Seriously.
Popper, come pay us a visit.
I mean, don't throw things at us.
If it's
around
like
us.
a pillow.
I was going to say, you could throw a pillow. A doll, as long as it's soft.
Yeah, a doll, a pillow.
Maybe just on the floor. Like, maybe not at us.
Okay, like at my legs, maybe.
A ball. You throw a ball at us.
Yeah.
A soft one?
Soft one.
Softballs.
Like a bouncy ball. Not a basketball or a baseball.
Not a baseball. All right, we have rules, but we'd still like a visit. Okay.
I think that if we ever encountered a poltergeist or a ghost, we would name it something fun like Popper.
We have encountered a poltergeist before at one of our recent investigations. I won't ruin the fun for you, but I will say that we did have some objects moving, as much as we'd like to say that it was for other reasons. So we'll have to think of a fun name for that poltergeist.
The Pantser.
D-Pantser?
His name's Pants.
His first initials D.
Yes.
D-Pants.
D-Pants. D-Pants the Poltergeist.
You're right. We did come up with a fun name.
I knew we had it in us.
It didn't take long.
D pants. Esquire.
The judge.
That is from the Anxious Salmon.
The Honorable D pants.
So that is my paranormal story for you two tonight.
Thank you.
Sharing. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
I enjoyed Popper.
I thought he was
fun.
He was a fun little ghost. You can always find us at thetipsyghost.com with our socials linked from there, or send us an email at thetipsyghost@gmail.com.
Please give us a 5-star rating and a great review anywhere you listen to podcasts. We really appreciate it, and it really does help.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll catch you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.